Random humming or random napping. Yep. It's always good to start the day with random humming. I did random short videos. It's funny, is doing short videos, 3 minutes each, it's like eating potato chips. You can't eat just one. So I can't just do one short video. There's too many topics to cover. You can't cover much in 3 minutes. So if you're annoyed that I did a lot of shorts all at once, let me know and I'll try to calm it down a little bit. Anyway, no one's here yet, so I'll just wait. Oh, I've got some stuff. I'm going to do an unboxing. I got an unboxing I'm going to do. Yep. That's some more stuff I got with the picture, the painting that I got. I actually had some more goodies in the box. We'll wait till everyone gets notified. They might not actually click on the live notification because I uploaded so many shorts. Yeah. Let's see what happens. I'm going to try not to look at the number of people actually entering and exiting. Let me know if the audio is good. I'm back to my same old setup, just using my phone's microphone, which is not that great. It picks up the braiding noises way too much. Yeah. I'm a little bit early still. Yep. Just a little bit early. I'm gonna start napping. Yes, I'm gonna start napping anyways, and I'll get to the unboxing soon. As soon as I see a lot of people, or people that I know anyway. Let's see. Glasses, safety glasses. Yes. Okay, now I can start. Yeah, it's like a gunmetal gray type of dite obsidian. I do like this kind of stuff for small points. Nice. I can make small arrowheads out of these flakes. Oh dang. I gotta watch that I don't mess up my case. Okay, let's see if this works. Yes. It's always risky to hit that hard on the bottom. So just zigzag, zigzag. Zigzag. Knick-knack, paddywhack. Just hit the stone. Random flaking. Opportunistic. I think I'm going to make an arrowhead on video out of some of this stuff. This is weird obsidian. It's more like a rock than a glass. It's actually a volcanic glass, but it feels more like rock. It feels more like stone. I hope I'm not alone thinking it feels like stone rather than a volcanic glass. I can do stuff like that. I need to make a short video. This is not an overshot because there's no width lost. This is not an overshot. This is a coast to coast. An overshot removes width. I did reach the other side, but there's no loss in width, so it's not an overshot. So I didn't overshoot it. I perfectly shot it. Hey, we got people commenting. Howdy, howdy, Joe. Souls says hi. Benjamin says hi. Kev says hi. Patent Pendulum says hi. All right. We got peoples. I don't have a separate phone today, so the only way I'm going to check the chat is actually with the phone that's filming. Howdy, howdies. We got lots of new guys. You guys are all new. Amazing. Amazing how that works with this new live streaming. All right. Let me know if the audio is good. Somebody, I want to know if it's got fuzziness or any kind of crackling or intermittent. Yeah, this is obsidian, but it's more like it feels more like rock than it does glass. You know, it's supposed to be a volcanic type glass, but this is more rock-like. It's a gunmetal gray, actually. And it's we call this dacite in the flintknapping community. Dacite. But it's not real dacite that the geologists call dacite. No. We call it dacite in the knapping community because it knaps differently than obsidian, than regular obsidian. Regular obsidian knaps just like glass, like man-made glass. It's a nature-made glass, but it knaps like man-made glass. The regular stuff. This is not the regular kind of obsidian. Mike Mason's here. Hey, Sal's here. Dawkinstein. Everything's good? Let me check the chat. Dawkinstein, please hit the like button, he says. Yes, yes. Good audio. All right, thanks. I'm checking the chat. Hold on. I've been watching for years, but just started joining the live stream, says Joe. Awesome. So yeah, obsidian. Let me take pardon me for a second, since there's so many questions. I'm going to get that question every 5 minutes, so I'm going to write, this is obsidian. Can you see that? Yes or no?
Yeah, I can see it, dude. I can see it. What are you trying to say? That we don't know what we're looking at?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying it's obsidian. This is a package I got as a gift. It'll be opened in a minute here. I want to get this biface first. Yeah, this is a lot like rock and not like volcanic glass. This is interesting stuff. I think this is the toughest dacite that I've knapped so far. You might have to start whiteboarding the list of tools as well as a work, please. Yeah, I just made a shorts video on my tools. So if you don't know what my tools are, just refer to the shorts video. I just made it and uploaded it this morning. So you can look at that. You new guys, all you old guys, you already know that you already know my toolkit. The new guys, I should write a note, right? I should write a note for all kinds of stuff, just so I don't have to be interrupted 10 times. Let's see. This is obsidian. Maybe let me write this. Let me write this so it fits. And then I'll write the fact that I put in, or I uploaded the tools video this morning. My current tools. Short video. It describes my tools, and if you have a question on my tools, then you can ask in the comments section of that shorts video, if you are so inclined. If you think I'm lame for not telling you all the stuff up front, or I missed some details, yes, I am lame, okay? So you'll just have to work a little bit harder in dealing with lame people. Yes, yes. Okay? Just got to work a little bit harder around lame people like me, and you know, ask your question in the comment section. This is actually, I kind of like it. I kind of like this stuff. Yeah, I do. Now, I don't know how it's going to nap when I start notching it, because it might crunch and munch the whole time when I'm trying to notch it. What is this going to be? I don't know. Good question. I don't have any plans for this. I just have the only plans I have is just to get it biface without breaking it, make sure it has no cracks in it. You know, take a look at it, make sure there's no cracks. If there's a crack, I'll break it right along the crack on purpose. 7 1/2 inches long. Yeah, if it has a crack or defect, I'll break it on purpose so I don't have to worry about trying to nap around the cracks and defects. This is like a 14-ounce bopper, solid copper head. Yeah, that's what I'm using currently. I have not been napping with these for years and years. I've only started napping with the solid copper head boppers for, I don't know, a few weeks. I've napped with all kinds of things on this channel. I have a kit of nothing but natural tools back there, so I can you know, nap with a hammerstone. That doesn't feel good. Let's see. How about this? That's a little bit better. A more crumbly hammerstone would probably be better on this, I think. Yeah. Oh, that's too crumbly. Let's see. What else we got? We got my sweet quartzite hammerstone. Let's see. I can kind of tell just by tapping if it's going to be okay. Yeah, it's okay. It's all right. It's not as sweet as copper. Napping with natural tools is like riding a bicycle compared to driving a car. There's more maintenance, or more expense, I should say, with the modern tools, because you got to buy the copper and all that. With a hammerstone, you just pick these up for free, usually. But it's like riding a bicycle compared to driving a car. These, you can nap with these. But see how it sometimes eats the hammerstone for lunch. Whereas copper doesn't do that. It don't eat the copper for lunch. And some might say, dude, you're supposed to use stones and you know, antlers for this stuff, because that's what they did back in the day. I'm watching you. I'm keeping my eyes on you. See if you're doing it right. Yeah. I need to be doing that if I want to reproduce something or practice experimental archaeology. Yeah, it's very important. But who says I'm doing experimental archaeology? And who says I'm trying to replicate something that you cannot distinguish from the real thing? Who says I'm trying to make a fake arrowhead? If you want to make fakes, you need to use natural tools. Who says I'm doing that? I'm just showing you that it can be done. Who says that's better too? Who says it's better to use natural tools? There's a lot of fraud going on. Why would I want to be suspected of that? I do know how to use this because I started that way because I was like everybody else. Not doing it right unless you do it like they used to back in the day. I was in that crowd, yeah. But I also wanted to practice some experimental archaeology. I still practice experimental archaeology, but just not with the flint knapping as much anymore. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to try to get a big flake. I got to hit really hard. This tends to smash more than copper. It'll smash the edge more than copper, so I got to be careful. So I got to have a big area to strike. All right. So it doesn't smash it. And I think it smashed it. Dang it. If I had only used only copper, it wouldn't have done that. Yeah, probably wouldn't. Yeah, but it's okay. I don't make big points anyway.
Wait a second. How did they do it back in the day?
You know how they did it back in the day without breaking it? They just made one type of point their whole life. You can get pretty good at that after doing it for years and years and years. Okay, that's how they did it. They just did one point style their whole life. Easy peasy. I mean, the answer to the question is easy. You can get pretty good at using just about any kind of tool. Yep. If you only make one point style your whole life. But this is much better for me. I like this size. Yeah. Why doesn't copper break it as much? Because it's just physics. A hammerstone is more smashy. Copper tends to be more, I don't know, grippy instead of smashy. Copper can smash it, yes, but it's hard to get this kind of stuff with a hammerstone or with antler. Antler is grippy, don't get me wrong. Dang, this stuff is weird. Antler is grippy, but it's not as hard as hammerstone. So many times the stone you're trying to knap will eat the antler for lunch. All right, so we got. All right, let's open. We got everybody in the house. Yeah, I'm gonna make two now. I'm gonna do 2 arrowheads now on the live stream. Yeah, I can make a match too. I'll make a matched set. How's that? These are good enough in size compared to each other that I can make a matching set. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the package. I'm going to do an unboxing. Okay? Hold on. I'm going to clean this up because I've already gotten to where these are bifaced. All right? So that's what I'll be knapping here in a minute. I'm going to do an unboxing. If you don't know what an unboxing is, it's okay. You can skip this part. You can go do something. Yeah. Go grind some coffee beans. Go grind them. Make a bunch of ground coffee. Or make your smoothie. Make a smoothie. Christmas style smoothie. I used to make Christmas style smoothies before I started eating correctly. Now I eat correctly. I don't eat smoothies because they're bad for you. All right. And I'm not even kidding. All right, so this is going to be unboxing. Unboxing. In case you didn't know what that was. Okay? So tune out, you guys. Guys up here, tune out. Then I'm going to be doing unboxing. This is from Keith. From Keith. I can't remember if it's I before E or E before I. Sorry if I mess that up. Okay. Here we go. Let's look so we can get all giggly. What is it? It is something good. And I'm going to get out my stone flake. This is my red stone flake. Yeah. Why don't I use stone flakes? Because I spent money on this. That's why. Wait a second. This might be a little bit crunchy. Not supposed to be. Or maybe it is supposed to be. No, I think it probably snapped in the shipping. So this is cool. This is like it's like red glass. What is it? It doesn't say. This is red glass. Ruby red glass. This is super cool. Yes, it is. I feel like a little kid. Super cool. Yeah. I am 62 years old, and I feel like a little kid every time I get this stuff. Yeah. Doesn't this stone knife work really good? Yeah. More beautiful red glass. Look at that. Even a big piece. And it looks like some kind of tile. Yeah, they used to use glass tile back in the day, and you can find these pieces of glass like this from renovation sites. Oh, I got a card. Let's see. I don't want to show the address to protect the innocent, but this is to Mr. Patrick Blank. Who's Mr. Patrick? I don't know. But I'm going to open it anyway. All right, so is that it? That's it. Gonna make sure that I don't miss stuff. Yes. Oh, cool. All right. Well padded. Look at that. Nice padding. Everything has got bubbles. That's it. That's it. All right, so everything's got bubbles around it. Wait a second. This is even more glass. Uh-oh. That's a hint. What is the length of this? 7 inches? Yeah. Dang. No, that's too thin in the middle. Like I was saying in one of my short videos this morning. It's already too thin in the middle, so it's probably going to snap. Just fair warning if I nap that one.
Yeah, but dude, you're a napper. You're supposed to be able to nap him without snapping. Napping without snapping.
Yeah, I can, but not on video. Yeah. I mean, I can do it on video if I'm lucky. It's just you cannot depend on luck. That's the only thing. If I could depend on the luck, there'd be no problems. I would say, abracadabra, luck be with me today, and it won't snap. But I can't do that. So that was the contents of the packages. Now, what is this? This is a Christmas card. Let me see. Is there anything that could jeopardize the innocent? No, there's no addresses or doxing information. That's a very nice Christmas card. Peaceful moments and lasting memories. Yeah. Patrick, I want to say thank you for all the tutorials you have done and helped so many folks, including me. This picture reminds me of a man who has shared so much with so many unselfishly. God gave us the hands and our brains to create needed tools to survive since the world he created with his hands and by his words. He also gave us Ishi, who passes knowledge to us as well. And I won't take the time to read everything because it's a video. Thank you, Keith. Thank you. Awesome. I'm going to put this up on my Christmas tree. Yeah. I hang these from my Christmas tree. Either I poke a little hole or I just set it on branches. Thank you, Keith. It's awesome. I got to make sure that I don't mix this up, because if I don't put the name on here, I will forget, believe it or not. I'll forget who gave it to me. And it was December 2025. Yeah, I had to write the dates too, because sometimes, I think I got it yesterday, but I got it a year ago. Okay. Sorry, I got to take time to do this because my brain doesn't work right. I can't remember that this was from Keith. December 2025. Yeah. Okay, so there we go. I did remember to label it. Okay, so now on this back of this, I got to put scent red glass with this. Okay. There we go. Now we can get back to our regularly scheduled programming, and I can check the chat. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go back to this I think I'll try to make 2 of these matching. I'm going to see. Yeah. Let me reduce this down a little bit, see if there's a further crack, because there's a natural crack in here, it looks like. And just because it's natural doesn't mean it's good. You know what? It might have snapped on a natural seam, so it may not have been entirely my fault. It looks like it was entirely my fault, but it may not have been. I don't know. Why doesn't it? It never fits together. Yeah. There is an inclusion in here, so these little inclusions, they might mess me up when it starts to get thin. They might. No one says they have to. Or it's not necessarily the case that those mess me up. So this is the smallest bopper I have, so that means it won't break it in half, right? If I use the smallest bopper I got. Is that what that means? I wish. I wish it was that. I wish I could guarantee that it won't break if I use a small bopper. What increases my chances of success or indirect percussion? Yeah. I don't do that well with boppers because my accuracy. Yeah. And I've been trying to do this for years. Yeah, dude, just use a pad like this. I'm less accurate with a pad, believe it or not. Yeah, because I tend to take it for granted. And I can't swing. I can't swing for the hills. When I got it down here, I can't really swing hard like I do when I'm knapping freehand. And the reason why I swing hard is because I'm using the mass of the workpiece against itself. I'll use it against itself here too, but it doesn't work right. Because the follow through hits my leg. I need like a steel pad or something that won't dent in. It needs a large area of support if I do it on my leg, because I swing for the hills, as they say. That's just the way I nap. I don't know why. I can't get it done unless I'm swinging really hard sometimes. Like that. See, I can't do that on my leg. I've tried so many times to do that while it's down here, and even when I'm on the side, I still can't do it. But I can do it freehand. It's gotta have something to do with the way my brain works. And not everyone's brain is the same. So I'm thinking other people might have that, and a lot of people don't. So they nap differently. Yeah, same with back in the day. You don't know how their brains were, that particular napper, if he's napping with a lot of fast strikes or just got a lot of support on it and then not doing fast strikes. I don't know. Same result, different technique. This one did break too. I don't know if this is because of internal defects. Or something strange going on. Because normally it does not break like that. Normally it will just scoop out. This is snap and halfish stuff. This is snap and halfish. Let me just test this out here. It does have natural cracks in it. So I'm thinking it might have internal defects that I can't see sometimes. Those are the worst. Normally it doesn't break like that. Oops. See that? Normally there's not cracks like this. What causes those cracks? Well, it's hard to say. I may have caused it during the spalling, or it may just be internal issues because of, like, you know, something in nature stressed this particular stone. I don't know. I can't tell. I suppose if I studied that aspect, I would get better at identifying why. But it's just a waste of time, I think, because if it doesn't nap, it doesn't nap. Just move on to another piece. And if it's not going to nap, it doesn't matter how well you understand it. If it's not going to nap, it's not going to nap. You're not going to be able to get anything out of it. Even so, let's say I understood that that's a natural crack rather than something that I did. It's still not going to nap right.
Now you might say, well, if you know that it's got internal issues, just get rid of all of it because it might just all fail unexpectedly. Just get rid of it, dude. Work on something that allows you to do it right.
Yeah, that too. I should just work on stuff that allows me to do it right. Here we go. Let's see if this... It does cooperate, but for some reason, it's got these issues. I'm going to try to get rid of this issue here. There's no easy way. I'm going to hit into that. See where it goes. Nobody knows. That's such a weird thing. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know. I don't see a good center line in here. I see this diving in a lot. I don't want to remove this yet because this gives this strength. I want to be able to get that crack out of there before I remove any more. But I don't see. Hey, Sal gave me a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, thank you. The comment is, we unboxed in Brady. It was very hard, remember? Yeah. We unboxed this kind of stuff in Brady, yes. But this is from a new batch that I just got. This dacite obsidian. But it's the same stuff, yeah, probably. We didn't want to mess with it in Brady. That's true. Now that you mention it, I had forgotten about that. So yeah, I probably should have taken a little more time, but I got excited with it because I kind of like the way it feels. Even though it's all crackly, I still kind of like it. I just gotta get that out of there. I don't know how far that goes in there. And you can't tell if it's natural or not because I don't see any patina on the inside of that crack. So it looks like it's brand new. Sometimes you can see a natural aging of the stone within these cracks, but on this one I don't see anything. It just looks the same all the way through. So I don't know. Let's see if I can get under it so I can make something. I got more big pieces, so don't worry. I mean, I can still do big pieces on video. Let's see. I'm going to try to... A lot of people want to know how to get around these. You can't defy physics. You just have to kind of take chances with it. And if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. There's no way to make it work if it's not going to work, but you don't know if it's going to work. All you can do is, like, I'm trying to keep this thick on this side just in case this goes deep. But even if it's not so deep, I'm still in trouble. Oh well. So I'm trying to get underneath that, so to speak. In Flintknapper parlance, we try to get underneath these defects. It doesn't look like it's going to be easy. And I'm taking back the edge without worrying about the overall shape. I'm just working with edges. I'm not trying to maintain an overall shape. I gotta make this convex before I strike. So a lot of times it means I got to remove the edge, make it more narrow to make it more convex, to hit into these areas that look like they've got defects. It keeps going. Keeps going and going and going. How about if I just get rid of it? Yeah, like that. So just get rid of it. And then I can make something out of this. Yeah. I can make something out of this. So it's probably not worth saving, because it was already, I'm going to make excuses, yeah. But it was already starting to get too thin. You know what I mean? If it starts to get too dished out, I won't be able to preserve length because it'll be curved. So I got to remove a lot of length anyway. In this case, this preserves at least this point, and then I can nap the rest. But this one looks like, yeah, I can't tell if it's a natural seam. This is how deep it went right there. So if I had just napped a little bit more, let me see. It didn't go that deep, but I was already starting to dish it out too much. See that? Even a little bit of more depth, it just would have dished it out way too much. See, I already dished out where that crack was, and it took off a lot, and it's starting to install a curve. So it's better just to get rid of that. Yeah. All right, what else we got? We got stuff we can use. This looks like it's pretty solid. Yeah. We have stuff that we can use. Let's get back to this one. Let's see. I have something similar from the Allen Cole box. Yeah. See, it does cooperate when it's not messed up. Kind of like people. Yeah. If they're not messed up, they'll cooperate with you. But if the people are messed up, they don't want to do nothing. No. All right. So what am I going to do with this? I'm going to try to preserve as much length as possible. Yeah. Yeah. So if you're thinking of buying this stuff, some of you are going,
Dang, I'm glad you showed me that, because I was going to buy like 40,000 pounds of that, because you said you liked it. But now that I see it's got defects, you saved me a whole lot of money. Yeah. I buy stuff 40,000 pounds at a time.
yeah, I've known guys like that. They'll just buy a whole trailer full of stuff. Where they get their money, I don't know. They're sitting on their 401k cash. They cashed out their 401ks or something. They're sitting on tons of cash, and they go, hey, wait a second. How many rocks can I buy with this? And they do the math, and they go, oh, like 40,000 pounds? I get all giddy. Yeah. I think that's what happens. I don't know. I would get all giddy if I had enough money to buy 40,000 pounds of rocks. Oh, yes. It'd be like winning the lottery. It's even better than winning the lottery, because no one's going to steal their rocks. No one's napping there's only a few nappers out there, so who's gonna take your rocks? Yeah, it's not like money. It's not like there's everybody trying to grab the money. They're not gonna grab your rocks. So yeah, and you can sit there outside. People say, "What are you doing out there?" I'm being happy. You're being happy? Oh yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, I do have lots of rocks, but they're small like this, which makes me happy because I don't have to worry about the big stuff. Too much stress. Yeah. I think that if I had a lot of money, I wouldn't buy big yachts or anything. I would just buy small boats. Why would I want to worry about the maintenance on a big yacht? I just buy like 2 small boats. In case one is needing repairs, I just take the other one out. Swap them out. Just have one in reserve. Instead of one big yacht, lots of maintenance. And people say, aren't we going to go out on your yacht today, Pat? No, it's got maintenance problems. Yeah, you're right. You should have bought 2 boats and then we can just take the other one out when one is not working. Yeah. Why didn't you do that? Oh, God, I was kind of stupid. Anyways, I'm trying to see what I can do with this quickly. Why quickly? I don't know. I'm thinking I need to do more than just one of these on video. I want to try to do a matching set, but I don't think I'll be able to. I've already messed up these pieces to where I might not get another piece this big. We'll see. This might snap in half too, so the night is still young. Let's see here. Happy, nappy happy. Yeah, there's nothing better than being nappy happy. Nappy happy is the best happy, I think. All right. This is very dusty. That's all right. See, obsidian dust is a lot safer than rock dust, in case you didn't know. A lot of people don't like it. That's the truth, though. It's a hard, cold truth. Stone dust is a lot worse for you than obsidian dust. People think it's the other way around, but it's not. It's not. You can look it up. Don't take my word for it. Don't take my word for anything. Always double check. Always do your own research afterwards, just to check it. You know, just check it out, and then get in the habit. If I teach you the habit of checking it out for yourself, because I act like such a dork that you have to check it out, you'll get into the habit of checking things out. No, but I trust the people in lab coats, because lab coats means there's no BS. There's no BS. The lab coat prevents BS. It's a BS filter. Yeah. Anyways, I'll talk smack about people in lab coats. So just be warned. Be on the lookout. Giving you fair warning. I'm going to let the smack talk fly once in a while. This is very weird stuff. Yes, it is. The terminations sometimes are beautiful, sometimes they're not. And sometimes it develops these weird fractures. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's the inconsistency of the material or if it's really consistent, but it's just kind of crappy as far as nappability goes. I don't know. It almost feels like it has grains in it. It's not like a regular dacite obsidian. It has grainy texture. And I don't think knapping it with antler or something soft would make a difference, because it has to do with the way it's fracturing. It doesn't matter how you fracture it, for the most part. So I don't think it'd matter if I use something softer. Although it does, sometimes you get different results. And I'm not sure exactly why. And I might be missing the boat when it comes to knowing exactly why softer tools, something softer than copper would work better. I might just be missing the boat and not understanding it and being ignorant. But I've tried many different materials. And the times when I thought a softer material would work better, many times did not. And I thought it was me, and I would sit there for hours. And nothing happened good. Nothing good happened, except I learned not to use the soft material for knapping. That was good. So yeah, look at that. Sometimes it cooperates. But that's lucky. I didn't know it was going to do that. And for those of you, I should write this down. This is how you do levallois points. The kind that are pointy. All you need to do is break off part of this and you can haft it as a point. Okay? Levallois points are generated from side hits, not base hits. So you can do a base hit and get a triangular piece, but it's going to be curved in this way, which is the wrong kind of curvature. When you hit from the side, it's straight in the direction it's supposed to be straight, from tip to base. See how straight that is from tip to base? But it's curved in the other way. That doesn't matter this way. So you take off what doesn't look like a point, and you can haft it this way. And see how straight that is in that direction? It's not straight like that if you hit it from the base going inward. Now, some people say, well, what about, I've seen flute flakes that are straight. Okay, did they do fluting back in the levallois days? Or did they do these side hits like this? You pick. Fluting is an advanced technique from relatively modern times. Okay? So, Wikipedia is wrong on the levallois points. And we don't even know if they were actually hafted as points. We're just assuming that they were. They could have been just used as tools of some sort, not tips for hafting. They were not hafted. I mean, it sounds like I'm saying they're definitely not. They may not have been hafted. They may have just been tools for something that we don't know. We can kind of guess that maybe it was for delicate cutting, something that needed a sharp point. Who knows? I don't know. They used to do, you still have to do some kind of surgery, even in primitive times. Like if you have a very deep splinter, splinters are very, very common. We take it for granted these days that we can go to the emergency room to remove a large splinter. But back in the day, to remove a large wood splinter or a thorn that's deep under the skin, if it breaks off and you've got like a 1/4 inch of skin before you get to the thorn, you've got to cut open the skin and get in there with something and pull it out. Okay, same with a splinter. So if you have a levallois point, very, very thin, you can slice open that area where the splinter or the thorn is very easily with one of these. And if it's a deep wound, like let's say that maybe there is a projectile point stuck inside a wound. This may be the only tool that works well to cut through and reach that point stuck in deep. I'm just throwing out examples. It doesn't have to be hafted. Now, some people say, well, I saw like archaeologist says that there's like hafting glue on the bottom of some of these. Okay, in that case, Maybe they had a blob of glue just stuck on there so they can hold it easier. It doesn't have to be hafted because there's glue there. I've seen, and you've seen it too, if you look around, there's just blobs on the back of some flakes just so you can hold it. It's a blob of glue just so you can hold on to the flake better. With no wood, no handle, just a blob that you can use to hold on to it better.
Okay. I have not seen those. You're just making it up.
Like I said, check it out. Don't take my word for it. I should slow down. Let's see. How much time have I got? 1 hour left. I'm speeding everything up because I'm thinking I can make 2 points, but I'm just going to make one. I can probably make 2 points, but yeah, I got plenty of good flakes. So I'm just going to make one. I'm going to slow down so I don't break this. Yeah. We're already at that stage where the easy part's over. I need to get the hard part done. I need to slow down. Okay? So hold on. Let's get everything cleared out. All right, so I need to stash this glass. Hold on a second. This is going to be cool. If someone mentioned that I should nap this on video on a live stream, I didn't see it. If you want me to nap that stuff on a live stream, you can let me know and then I'll look at it later. You know, I'll look at the chat later. Okay, so who we got? Yeah, I opened your stuff, Keith. I don't have my other phone, so I have to check the chat on the phone that I'm filming with. Hold on. Yeah, he just snapped it in half like some kind of beast. Yeah. Yep, Keith Callahan. All right. Ralph has to leave. I hate checking the chat where on my phone that I'm using to film this. Anyway. I have a big piece of obsidian, so I'm going to give you proof of life on the piece of obsidian before I start getting heavily into this one. Hold on a second. I got a big piece of obsidian I'm going to nap on video. See that? Proof of life that this obsidian slab that I got from Danny is still alive. It is still alive. And I can't figure out if I'm going to do this on a live stream in a vertical format or I'm going to film myself at a distance. It's 24 inches almost. I would say 23 and a half. Okay? This is the future challenge. Future challenge. Obsidian. I'm ruining my marker. This was cut with something. This was cut with some modern tool, so it doesn't normally break like this. See that? Okay. I'm going to leave it right there. And if I drop this on top of it, it's your fault. Because you want to see that. And what I'm thinking is I can use these as vertical punches. And do this. Hold on. Where's my... I need my big hammer. What happened to my big hammer? I have a 3-pound sledge. Anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the back of these, I think, and then nap it like this. to start out with. I'm going to use this as vertical punches. I think that might work. I have not tried it yet, but I think that's what I'm going to do. This should be solid enough for me to hit the back of this and vertical punch this stuff. Just to get it shaped. Because I would hate to hit it like this. My bopper skills really are bad. So if I do it like this, yeah. If I do it like that, that's an interesting color as well. Or no. It's a smoky obsidian. Very glossy. Cool. It's not like this dacite. You can see the big difference. These are both obsidians, okay? But there's a big difference between these two. So this big slab is this good glassy stuff. It has good transparency, but you can't see it because my lighting is lame. Anyway, I'm going to leave that right there. And I'm going to knap this. Okay, and actually, one other reason why I like this is because the flakes, the shards are not very sharp. They're all kind of grainy. There's not these super duper sharp edges like on this type of obsidian that I just knocked off the corner. See that? That stuff is extremely sharp. But on this stuff, it's thin edged, but it's not that sharp. You know what I mean? I can handle it with my fingers and push, and I don't get cut. Now, with this other glassy obsidian, if I were to do this, it would cut me. But this is grainy. See, I'm using the really sharp edge. It's not cutting me. You might say, well, what are you doing with it? It's not good for arrowheads. In that case, it's not even cutting you. It's supposed to cut. Yeah. It still works. It just doesn't work as good. All right. Enough messing around, goofing around. Okay? All right. Let's see if we can get some. Let's see if we can get some out of this. At least we can pretend it's an arrowhead. Yeah. At least. At most, we can get this nice and sharp and looking pretty. Yeah. Useful and pretty at the same time. Very rare combination in rocks and in people. Yeah. All right.
Stop comparing rocks to people, dude. It's kind of creepy.
He don't know me too well, do he? All right. Let's see. I'm thinning the ends. This is the typical approach. I'm going to thin the tip down and I'm going to thin the base down. Okay? And do it very carefully because it's snapping halfish. We've already determined that it snaps easy. How do you do it carefully? I cannot be trying for really, really big flakes unless I see a really good opportunity. Because I have to be very sparing on how hard I hit. I can't be going to town on this like I normally do. Someone already said that I acted like a beast, and that is true. I can't be beastly with this stuff. Okay? All right. Yeah, I know it was you, Mike. I'm watching you. All right, so here we go. This is the thinning stage. This is when it starts to get difficult. You thought the first part was difficult. I don't know, maybe it is for you. Maybe it is for you because I've heard a lot of stories. And I do believe the stories, yeah. Oops. I do believe stories that people have a hard time with the initial reduction. This is where it gets hard for me. I can't do this with a bopper or with pressure. It has to use indirect percussion, so it's one reason why I use it. Okay. It steps easy. It steps real easy, which means the flakes break up. The flakes are not strong. Yeah. You could probably guess that from the beginning. I got to be very careful about the convexity of the surface, about the quality of the edge. Make sure it's ground well. I'm using a finer grinder now, a finer abrader. I mean, you can call this grinder or abrader. This is a fine, and this is coarse. Now the coarse one didn't seem to work all that well, but the fine one seems to be working better. So the coarse abrader might be faster, but I think it's shattering the edge a lot. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's the way it's supposed to go. It's supposed to be nice and feathery on the ends of the flakes, just like that. I mean, it did step just a little bit, but it's not too bad. All right, let's see what... I got to go to the end of the chat. Hold on. I'm looking on my phone and see what we got going. Nothing, just making an arrowhead. Yeah, we're just trying to make an arrowhead. See, there's some in the background. I should open the book. The more stuff I have open in the background and more stuff I have available for you to look at, the less questions I get. Okay? Yeah. I don't want to be stopping to answer questions, the same question every 5 minutes. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Here we go. Are we cooking with gas? Well, we cannot depend on that. Those may have been lucky hits. But as I get further along, I get more and more used to the material. So the chances of failure start to reduce. That's the theory anyway. That's a thought experiment. It could be that the thinner it gets, the less cooperative it gets. So just because I'm used to the material doesn't mean anything. It doesn't guarantee anything. I can't defy physics. Sometimes it just doesn't want to cooperate. Because the flakes are weak. Like, I can break these flakes with my hands. A lot of times, I just want to show you something. A lot of times I cannot do this. I cannot do that with other materials. These are weak flakes. Okay? I can just snap it with my fingers. I cannot do that with other materials in most cases. And I can try to do it with this. There's no way I'm going to snap this with my fingers. Although it's thicker, yes. But I could probably snap something equivalent in thickness to this pretty easily. I mean, that's super easy to snap. It's not the same thickness, but it's... I think you get the idea. I can break this stuff. Anyways, that's important. That's an important thing to realize. A lot of new guys, they don't do these kind of analyses. They don't take flakes and break them and see how strong they are. It doesn't occur to them to do that. But if you got flakes that break that easy and you're having trouble, it's not by accident that you're having trouble. It's the material. It's not you. These flakes are not strong. So they have to be relatively thick in order to travel. Thicker than normal. So you got to make that adjustment to think to yourself, okay, these got to be thick flakes. I can't be doing really persnickety stuff with this. Really persnickety thin narrow long flakes on this is practically impossible. Okay, I'm going to try. If the conditions are just right, sometimes you can get lucky. But yeah, see, it wouldn't have stopped there with a better material. But this is okay anyway. I mean, this is good. It's a good flake. Now, but it went through a thick area, which helps. I won't be able to do too many more of those because it's starting to get thin. And it's getting to the point where if I try to reduce it much more in thickness, I'll be acting very foolish. Very foolishly attempt to thin it more. But I'm going to do it anyway. Okay? Let's see if I can do it. Okay, so it started to dive a little bit. That's not a bad flake. All right, let's see how it... Now, these diving flakes, sometimes they go further than you might think. That's the problem with those. You might say, nah, that's not too bad. I can get it. Sometimes they dive a lot more than they look. Then they look like they're diving. Just fair warning. So I'm not going to do too many of those. Not too many more of those. I'll do a few, but that's it. If I start doing too many, it's going to ruin the look of the piece. And this is a good size. I think it's 4 inches or something. Let's see. What's the size of this? Yeah, it's right at 4 inches, a little bit over. This is a good size. I wouldn't want to make anything bigger. And it's not because I broke the bigger one. It's because it's the nature of this material. It is kind of weak. And it has internal defects in some spots. That makes it even worse. And we haven't even gotten into the pressure flaking yet. I don't know if the edges are going to support the type of pressure flaking I want to do. The sharpening. The type of pressure flaking that I always want to do is the sharpening stage. We'll see how it goes on the sharpening stage. How much time I got? I got almost an hour. All right. We're still safe. I can probably still show the sharpening. Where is my mallet? Okay. All right, so just a few more big flakes. I don't know, it's already starting to crush and stuff, even though, well, I don't prepare the edges all that great. I can probably prevent crushing on the edges with better preparation. But see, it dived a little bit more than I thought on this side. See, that flake came across. I got most of the step fracture out from this side, but it still dived in right there a little bit. That's pretty common with obsidian and dacite. You got to get rid of those divings. Come on. Where did it go? Where'd it go? Nobody know. There it is. Did I get the... I don't know. It's okay. It didn't really dig underneath. But I think we're safe. Usually I try to dig underneath anything that looks like it's a deep crack. I don't want that in there. No matter where it is. Because if there's a crack in there that's deep and you hit somewhere else, that's a weak spot. It could crack in this direction, as an example. Since that crack is going this way, it could crack right along there and you won't know. Just because of that little weakness in the middle. You won't know why. You'll go, why? Why did it do it? Doesn't like me, hates me. Yeah, it's starting to hate me. Yeah, it's starting to hate me. It doesn't want to cooperate. Let's see. I think it's reaching its cooperation limit. Just a few more, please. Just a few more flakes. That's it. And no, I better not drop it on top of that obsidian slab. It's not going to work. It's going to get too flakery. Yeah. Hold on. I'm pushing the limits of the stone. I'm not in safe territory, in case you don't know. I'm not in safe territory. Let's just put it that way. It's supposed to be nice and well flaked. If it's safe, that means I can flake it nicely. That I'm in safe territory if it flakes nice. It's not flaking nicely. It's being finicky as I get thinner, but that's a thick spot. Still doesn't want to do it. All right, so we're going to make it more narrow. Yes, we are. There's always we. It's not only my fault if I mess up, because it's we that's doing it. Yep. Ready? Is it looking ready? I'm using the coarser braider because it's fast. Should I switch down to a smaller diameter? Maybe, but I think the smaller diameter is going to crush the edge. I could try it. From experience, a lot of times the smaller diameter, even though I can get in there with smaller areas that are more precise, it sometimes crushes it and defeats the purpose. I don't know, it might work. It might work to use a smaller diameter. Yeah. So I need to get in there precisely. It helps that it's more narrow. I don't have to drive these flakes as far. That edge is too much. It's ground down too much. Hold on. I got to take it back a little bit more. Come on. Yeah, like that. Make the edge less ground down by removing a flake. It's like a zig flake. I didn't zigzag, I just zigged. And now I can zag in this direction. Yes? Yeah. Did it do it? Yeah. A little zig and then a little zag. It kind of did it. Kind of. It stopped abruptly. See how it stops abruptly? It's stopping abruptly because the flakes are thin. These flakes I'm removing are super thin, and you saw how they break easily. When they break easily, they don't hold together. This one held together by luck. This one down here. That was lucky that one held together wherever it came from. But up here, they're not doing it. They're terminating with steps. I could run a flake down that way. I just got to make it more narrow. Yeah, I don't see a good convexity yet. Good enough convexity. And some materials require more convexity than other materials. Yeah. This one doesn't need all that much convexity, but if it doesn't have it, it doesn't cooperate at all. It's a very narrow range of cooperation. Let's see. Well, it grinds down fast. All right, let's see if I have an opportunity to get some of this from back here. Now, the bad thing is I got to try to do the damage control with the endings of these flakes, which is the worst tactic possible. It's an advanced technique to control or to do the damage control with the endings of the flakes, especially on material that breaks up before it gets to the ending. Anyways, gotta do it. Hate to do it, but it's the law of the West. Yeah. That wasn't too bad. I can probably pick out the ending. It was supposed to run a little bit further. See how it stopped right there? I might be able to pick that out. Put my tool right there. Pick it. Yeah. Yeah, like that. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's going to get kind of flakery on this side. I might be able to pressure flake that out. See how it's all flakery right here? Everything else is nice, but this is all flakery right there. It looks like a big glob of nastiness. Like you did a nice paint job and then someone falls and bumps up against your paint job and messes it all up in one spot. That's what it reminds me of. Who bumped into my paint job or my texturing? I'm trying to texture this wall. I'm texturing it nice. And someone bumped up against the wall. Who did it? Nobody, Dad. We're all watching TV. No one bumped up against your textured wall at 4 feet high. How'd you know it was 4 feet high? Crickets. Anyways, have I ever had that happen before? I don't know. I don't know. All right, here we go. We're gonna see it. If this stupid thing is gonna do it. Did it do it? Almost. Oh, I got a land bridge, kind of, sort of. Yeah, I got a little bit of a land bridge going on. But the texturing is going not too badly. Yeah, I got to texture the surface of this. Is that good enough? I got rid of some of the flakeriness. That's good enough. I'm going to start pressure flaking. I don't want to go any thinner. So yeah, that's the final thinning is done. Yes, yes. You know, the thinning means it's going past halfway as far as the flakes go. I could probably drive one more flake into that area, but I got a feeling I'm going to smash the edge all to pieces. The edge is really thin for this material. So if it was a different material, I'd still take some more flakes in there. But no, I'm going to try to just pressure it. Yep, pressure flake. That's it. All right. So everyone can take a snooze. Take a snooze while I do the pressure flaking. You didn't know you could texture the surface of these things? I like to texture the surface with big flakes. That's what I like to do. Some people like to texture it with nice parallel flakes. It's up to you. There's no technique that's wrong except when you break it. Then yeah, you can say, you broke it. That means you didn't do it right. That's the one time that you can say that. Yep. Not supposed to break it. That's the opposite. You know, that's one time you can say that you didn't do it right, because That's the main thing. Just do whatever you can do without breaking it. That's the rule. Don't break it. And if you have to keep it thick, not to break it, keep it thick. If you got to make them small to not break it, make them small. If you have to skip the notches and say, I don't need no stinking notches, then don't put in no stinking notches. You don't want to break it. That's the main thing.
Why does it look like that?
Because I didn't want to break it.
Yeah, but it doesn't look right.
It looks perfect because it didn't break. How do I know it's perfect? Because it didn't break.
That's a weird way of looking at it, man.
No, see, you're a spectator, dude. Get out of my face. See, that's how you have to act. Yeah. You get all up in your face. All right, so I got to be careful near the tip. Hold on a second. If I don't, like, I mess up the tips easily. Yeah, okay, you can't see. I can't see either when I look at the things. Ugh. Let me get this out of the way so I can see. Just bump into 100 things before I can move one thing. Okay. I don't want you falling down over there. I stood it up kind of vertically. I don't want it falling down on me. So hopefully, if I don't jump up and down in the shop, it won't fall. Why do I worry about that falling? Because it's obsidian. Those flakes can go flying at many miles per hour if that thing falls. Those little flakes from the sides. All right, anyways. Where are we? Where was I? I'm going to try to do a long flake. So I can kind of do long flakes on it. It does support the flaker. It doesn't crush that much on the edge, although it is kind of crushy. It's not too bad. Yeah, it is kind of steppy though. Yeah. I have to watch out. Yep, I don't like it. It can support long flakes when you pressure flake. I just don't like the potential for step fracturing. There's a lot of potential for the step fracture. Some materials you can pressure flake all day long and not worry too much about the step fracturing. But on this one, I'm getting a lot of weirdness. So I got to do a lot of downward pressure. Short flakes. See how that looks. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to look at the chat too much. I see a lot of new people. I'm not going to be able to look at the chat. So if you want to ask a question, maybe someone in the chat can answer. Just pose it generally. I got to focus on this because this material is kind of weak. Yeah. The endings of the flake are not strong. So I'm trying to drive long flakes to do some damage control, and I don't think I'll be able to do it. Yeah. I don't think I'll be able to do damage control with the pressure flakes. Because as soon as it hits an obstacle, the whole thing just breaks. See that? It hit an obstacle here, but then the whole flake broke and left that little nasty. That's called a little nasty. Yeah, can't imagine if someone was standing outside my shop, what they would think is going on in here. What in the world? Let's see. Talking about little nasties? Yeah. Well, that's not too bad. That one ran the ridge. But I don't want to do that too often because if you do that and remove all the ridges, you don't see the big bold flakes. Nope. You don't want to do that too much. I just needed to do that there because it was thick. If you don't need to thin it down, just do little bitty flakes. I'm gonna try to take that step fracture out here, so I'm getting ready to do a pressure flake through there to get rid of that step fracture. And I can attack it from either flank, not a direct attack. You have to flank attack those step fractures. But I'm gonna take some flakes off of both sides because there's an obstacle here and that obstacle there. So I'll be flaking from both sides, and if I lose width, it's okay. Yeah. Because I'm doing damage control, so I can make it look nice. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah, I took it out. I got it. You can do a direct attack on those because there's no step fracture in front of it. Yeah, like that. Yeah, like that. And then I don't like that step fracture. Let's see if I can reduce it first a little bit. By picking at it. Yeah, see if I reduce it in the middle, see that? I pop that out, I can get a flake to go this side and probably that side and kind of meet in the middle. If it's weak in the middle, it's easier to do it. If it was still big and strong in the middle, then these flakes on the both sides might leave a little land bridge in a way that I can't get rid of it. You can damage. Sometimes you have to damage control the damage control. Yeah. All right. So let's see if I can do. Well, I might do better if I just drive it with percussion. Let's just do that. I can get a bigger flake with percussion. Supposedly, I could have done that with pressure, and it didn't. It didn't go right in the correct spot because of the accuracy. Get more accuracy with pressure. See if that did it. Big old hit. Ouch. That hurt. Let's see. Now, I got most of the step fracture. It fanned out, but the price to pay is all this crunchiness. Let's see if I can. I don't know. I can pick that out. There's still some nasties. Yeah. And I'm going to have to seriously repair that edge. Maybe I can run a flake into here. If I run a flake into here, it'll probably fan out and get that, and fan out and get this over here. On other material, that wouldn't be a problem. But on this material, to run a flake through here, there's so many weird areas that it might just stop. And there's no way for me to repair it. So we'll see. If it gets more, I might just make it more narrow on purpose. Anyways, it doesn't look too bad if I just leave that in. So I'm just going to go around and damage control the damage control. Yeah, I'm just haphazardly grinding it, just like I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. Opportunistic. As long as it's opportunistic, I'm doing it right. Because that's my style. That's my style, and I'm sticking to my style. My style is opportunistic. Yeah, that's good enough. Yeah. Good enough. You take everything into consideration, the material, time, temperature. Believe it or not, the shop is freezing. Well, it's like 39, not quite freezing, but it's cold. I don't want that heater going on every 5 seconds because I don't like listening to that in the background. Okay, so I can see I need to take back some of this for symmetry. I might be able to drive a flake into there. If I take this back, but we'll see. I might just want to leave this fat up here, but as you can see, there's a lot more on this side that I need. I don't need that big old convex area. This one is more straight. See that? With the flip Lexia, you can't see it that well. Anyway, I need to take this back here for symmetry, and I can probably drive another flake. Get rid of some of that. Yeah. If it doesn't look like a good opportunity, I won't do it. I think I can drive into that thick spot. Yeah, see, it's thin and then it gets thick there and then thin. I think I can drive into that area. I just can't do it haphazardly. I gotta think about this and look at the edge and really study it. I don't like it. I shouldn't study it because whenever I do that, I don't like it. It's never perfect. Even if you try to make it perfect, it still isn't. So I just go with it. Yeah, I'm just gonna go with it. This is the 5/16 inch diameter. Oh, I think it tried very hard. It tried. Let's see. Can I pick it? No? Yes? It didn't do too bad. It's not too bad. I need to get that out of there. It's bugging me. It's bugging me because it doesn't look like I textured it with skill. Yeah. It looks like I just winged it, so to speak. Okay. I don't know. Okay. I hate to look. Oh, did it do it? Yes. I think it did it. Amazing. We still got a couple of nasties there and there, but that's okay. I'm happy because it's big and bold. And it never gets old. Big and bold never gets old. Yes, that's the rule. I like it. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I picked out the end of that, but it didn't feather out. But that's fine. That's okay. And I did take out that kind of thick spot. Kind of thick spot. I'm afraid to hit it anymore. Yeah. Okay. So we're just gonna leave it a little bit wonky when we sharpen this thing. All right. I still got 25 minutes. See that? Stupid. Not my fault, because we are working on it. Yeah. Why'd you let me do that? And I can't figure out. I kind of know why it does that, but I can't figure out how to stop it for sure. There's got to be a way to prevent that. Other than going really slow. I hate going really slow. If I don't have a good attitude while I'm trying to do something, I get diminishing returns. That doesn't work. Everything could be correct, the physics and all that. And I know how to do it, but if I don't like doing it, if it takes me too long, forget it. I'll mess it up somehow so that my brain says, see, it's not worth it, is it, huh? You don't like it for a reason. That's the reason. No, it's because you made it up, brain. You made me do it so that you can say that it's not worth it. I know your tricks. Yeah. Okay, so do a pass on this. I'm doing passes on these sides, and then I'll flip it over and do the passes on the other sides. I think I already did. No, I do need to do a pass on this side on each edge. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm preparing. I do that before I grind it. I take off all the spots that are lumps. Come on. What is that? Usually I don't have to look. Somehow. These are super thick spots I missed earlier. How did I miss those super thick spots? All right, so now gently grind so I can do a pass on the other side. And that'll be the final pass to sharpen it. Theoretically, that's all I need. We'll see. Yeah. And sometimes I'll take percussion flakes if I see a fat spot or a lump. Yeah, I think I need to take a couple more percussion flakes to get rid of some of this fat stuff. But I have to be watching out that I don't snap the tip off. Okay. I took my gloves off because I can feel what's going on better. Okay. It might not have saved me because I think, I don't know if that's a crack. I got to be careful. Oh, it looks like I got to damage control the damage control. Okay, that's good. Good. Yes, maybe. I don't know. When it gets to the point that I know I can snap this off with just my fingers, I can snap this whole tip off just with my fingers. It gets a little bit of a nail biter situation here. It gets to be a little bit of a nail biter. I don't know. I should not take that chance. Dang it. Nope, that didn't work. I'm just seeing opportunities. That I can't do with pressure. Oh, come on. I could have done that with pressure. I thought I was going to be able to sharpen it. Let's put the gloves back on. It feels a little bit too different. All right, let's see. See if I can pick this out. No. I don't know. I think I may have messed it up. How much time do I got? Oh, I got some time. All right, let's see. See, this way I save all the persnickety stuff toward the end because it's the most exhausting. If I were to do this in the beginning, through the whole process of making the edge as good as I can, by the time I reach this stage, I'd be exhausted. And I wouldn't want to do any more really persnickety type stuff. I'm trying to get this tip thinned and tapered well. I still have a little bit of meat on this side that I can perhaps damage control that step fracture. Perhaps. It's not a good deal. It's not a good situation. I thought I was going to be able to sharpen it, but no. Okay. Yes. Let's see. Come on. I know you can do it. Is there a chance? There is a slight chance. Yeah. No. It doesn't look that great. I'm going to leave the edge. It looks like I'm going to have to leave the edge a little bit wonky. If this doesn't work, this last couple of flakes. Oh, that's not it. I just walked it down. Yeah. Okay, that's it. No more. No, I'm gonna have to leave this edge a little bit wonky and not straight. Yeah. You see what I did? I had a bunch of mess here, but I had to walk it down. I kept stepping and then stepping and stepping until finally I walked it down far enough that it cleared up. Okay. Let's see. Where is my good pressure flaker? Here it is. Let's make the pressure flaker even better. Yes, yes. Just little flakes, okay? I'm telling myself, just little flakes. Don't be doing nothing fancy. Come on. Come on. Yeah. I'm just going to randomly do this opportunistically. I see spots that are lumpy. I'm pushing inward to get rid of some of the lumps. We'll see how thin I can go. Because I just don't like the way the edge looks. So to make the edge look better, I got to go thinner. It's going to have some measure of straightness. It can't just be all wonky. Okay. Yes? All right. So I got rid of some of the step fractures that were on the interior of that point. Let's go back to where we were before we were so rudely interrupted by my opportunisticness. I took some opportunities to thin it down. Come on. There it goes. And I ended up having the damage control on my damage control. Isn't that always the way? Isn't that what always happens? Yeah, pretty much. when you want to try to make it look nice, there's always an excess of damage control. You become really preoccupied with nothing but trying to make it look nice. So I'm sharpening it. And I've already abraded it a couple times. But I gotta watch out for areas like this that have previous cracks. So let's see. Can I pop some of that out there? What is that? I don't know. So I'm just gonna go back and forth and do it at random and pick off areas that look dull. Pick off areas that don't look straight. And just kind of do it at random. I am going down in general, but if I see something I don't like, I'll just randomly pick at it. Do I have time to do notches? Or we don't need no stinking notches? I would like that we don't need no stinking notches. Why am I sharpening it before the notching? Because I want to. That's the only reason. It's probably smarter to do sharpening after the notching, but oh well. Come on. Little crushed spots on the edge. Yeah, it's okay. All right, so I see some nasty spots here on this side. I can probably do a lot more heavy pressure on this side. I'm thinking I should do some percussion too, but man. Let's see. I don't have to do big flakes. Yeah. I can thin this down without big flakes. Come on. No. Step fracture after step fracture. So yeah, I gotta focus on this or I'm gonna mess it up. Here we go. Let's see if I can do the heavy pressure without taking a bite out of the edge. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it. It's going to be a little wonky. It's all right. Why? Because I say it's all right. Yeah. It actually pressure flakes pretty good. I'm surprised. Because a lot of times, if the flakes are weak, it does not pressure flake all that well. But this is okay. Somehow the edge is able to handle it. It's better than I thought. Which is good. I'm glad it sharpens well. Yeah. And I tried to run a big flake. Yeah, that's okay. it worked. Ah, come on. The funny thing is, it gets step fracture after step fracture. It doesn't want to feather out. I can percussion that and make it look better, but I'm not going to. I gotta stop. I saw what happened last time I tried to do percussion because I wanted to look too perfect. I almost messed it up completely. It's a good thing I was able to walk that down. Which side was it? I think it was this side. I was able to walk that down and eliminate those step fractures. Okay, so that's it for the sharpening. Now I just got to go around the base, figure out what I'm going to do for notching. I got into the habit of doing this base thinning last. It helps on some styles. Like for years I had trouble on some styles that had real thick stems because I was so used to thinning down the base a lot. I had to get into the habit of not thinning the base down. This was for Martindale's. It's a point style from Texas. It took me a while to get back into the habit of leaving the bases thick, but then I just stuck with it. And then now I can't seem to remember to thin this first before I start doing a lot of blade work. Oh well. So this one can be several different styles. I usually tend to do the Elko style. Because it saves a lot on the stem. Let's see. What I mean by that is I don't have to remove a lot of the stem area to do an Elko. I can do one of these things where I just dish out the sides with big notches. Yeah. I'm just going to do simple big notches and we'll call it good. Yeah, I've only got like 5 minutes or less than that. Yeah, I'm just going to just put in some simple notches. Nothing major. And by simple, I mean they're going to be kind of wide. Dang. Did I mess that up? I think I did. I removed a little bit too much. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to make these notches pretty simple by comparison. Compared to other types of notches, these are pretty easy. And there's a style that looks like this, so it's not going to be exactly this style, but you know what I mean. I might be able to do narrow notches with this, but I'd rather do the narrow notches on an arrowhead, a true arrow point. Because I say so, yeah. Well, it's because, especially with these larger points, if it's like for a knife blade, you don't need delicate notches. In fact, it's better if you don't have delicate notches. Because it's going to be a knife. You need to put a lot of sinew in there. Dang it. That dug into me pretty good. All right, see. I can't be without my glove. Drives me nuts. Yeah. So these are sharp edged. I showed in the beginning that I was able to push on it. But with just the right amount of pressure, yeah, it cuts. And I am using a lot of pressure, so when I push against this, it drives the flakes in. Okay, after a certain amount of distance, I've got to switch over to my notching tool. This won't do everything. I wish I could do everything with this kind of tool. It'd be so much easier. Did I take some of that off? No. It looks like I might have removed some of this ear on this side, but I think it's just because the notch is not very deep. Yeah. So I'm kind of thinning as I go. I just touched that. All right. I just touched that and broke it off. Anyway, I'm thinning as I go in the notch. All right, so I'm going to get my notcher. I'm going to have to redo this. I think, I don't know if my symmetryometer is saying something's wrong. My symmetryometer is ringing bells and going ding, 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 ding. There's no symmetry, dude. There's no symmetry. Or it's off. It looks stupid. Yeah, I think it's just slightly off. No big deal. I'm surprised how well it pressure flakes. So I'm going to drive these notches in a little bit further. Little at a time, just picking at it. Now that I have a thinner notcher, I'm just going to go in and crunch these notches a little deeper. It's so easy to knock off the points on the end of the barbs. On this material. So I'm wondering if the true arrowhead is going to be difficult to notch. Hey, somebody became a member. 2R. Awesome. I just saw that in the corner of my eye. I saw that little membership. Thank you. I'm mainly downward pressure. I'm mainly using downward pressure instead of the normal tactic of pressing and then pulling down. I'm just pushing down because it's a very crumbly type material. So pushing it in and then popping it down, it tends to just crush it. It doesn't pop them out. So I'm just doing downward flakes. Downward force flakes. Like that, yeah. Hoping for a nice pop out, just like that. Yeah. One side done. Let's do the other side. And this, yeah, I was saying that on an arrowhead, it might be difficult to do the narrow entry with this material. I might just do an arrowhead that has big notches. There are arrowhead types, true arrow points for arrows that have big notches. They don't all have nice narrow. And you might say, dude, that's just cheating. You're choosing an arrowhead that don't have narrow notches because you can't do it. Yeah, it's because I can't do it. Or it would take too much aggravation. Too many failed attempts before you actually get a good one. Yeah. I could leave it like that. Are they symmetrical? Kind of, sort of. No, not exactly. Hold on. We're almost there yet. Let's see. My symmetryometer is still ringing bells. I just don't want to spend too much time. Yeah, okay. Perfect. So I would consider that a knife blade. Yeah. I would have it like that. See, the wood is the same width as the notches or the neck. This is how I would haft it as a knife blade. Can we see, or is it going to blur on us constantly? I don't know. Let's see. Let's move everything out of the way so we can gloat because we finished it. Let's see. All right, what do we got? We got ourselves a knife blade, and it fits well in this handle. Yeah. See this handle? Small fighting knife. Yeah. That's what I'm calling it. And I would just, use a lot of glue, and see how this is dished out on both sides? That's where the sinew goes across, so you can't pull it out. That, where the wood is thicker, it prevents the sinew from being pulled, so you can't just pull it out. And the barbs on the knife, they don't serve any purpose. They're just there incidentally because you have notches for the sinew to hold it in place. And these extra areas sticking out, the ears sticking out, they just give you resistance to being pulled out. Okay, after you wrap the sinew across the top here, because that's all you need is just to wrap around. You don't need crisscrossing. It doesn't need to be crisscrossed down here. You just straight wrap across and over the top of the wood. And on some of these, I round this off. Okay, so that's how it would look finished. Alrighty. What style is that? I don't know. It's a knife style. Knife style. There you go. I like it. And the final length of this exactly 4 inches. And yeah, these other pieces, I don't think I could make another knife blade like that because they're too small. But I can make smaller pieces for sure. Yeah. Obviously. Okay, so that's it. It was an interesting material. I like the feel of it, but it does get steppy. Yeah. That's the only thing I don't like about it. It gets steppy and it starts to dive in also as it gets thinner. So it needs convexity. That's probably is. I probably went way too thin with it because if I tried it again, I might break it. I think I got lucky this time that it did not break. Sometimes when I hit hard, it develops a crack on the edge, and that's when it gets dangerous. Luckily, the cracks that I did get earlier, I managed to get them out. Yeah, I don't see any remnants. I had some cracks from hard hits from percussion, but I think I got them all out. There's still some spots that look kind of dull that I could pick at, but it's good. Most of the time, these things are only sharp in the upper third. But knives, of course, you need to sharpen the whole edge. But like I said, on artifacts, it's the upper third that seems to be the sharpest. And this down here is sometimes not sharpened at all. Just so you know. And the notches are not crushed, which is nice. That's it. Yeah, good. All right, guys, the next live stream is Friday. Today's Wednesday, right? I'll upload some short videos. Those are easier for me to do than the long format before Friday. I might do some more today. I might do another long format video today. We'll see. I'm not sure. It's not late. I got plenty of time to upload another long format video between now and Friday for sure. And I'll divide it into parts like I've been doing, 4 or 5 parts. So yeah, it's a weird dacite obsidian. It feels like grainy stone almost, but it actually pressure flakes well. That surprised me, and it feels pretty sharp. Yeah, good enough. Right, there you go. That's it. We'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you, everybody. Good to see everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.